Well, welcome back to another great week. It's your favorite DJ, one of them. Now, I appreciate you guys already being in the room, man. That just lets me know that you guys are ready for a great show. Are you in anticipation of anything today? I mean, am I entertaining to a certain degree? No, I'm just playing. What's happening? Welcome back to another great week of Twisted Transitions. We've got a great show for you today. I already see some people in the chat want to know what I thought about Deadpool when I went to see it last Friday. And I can tell you that I gave it an 8 out of 10. I didn't give it a 9 and I didn't give it a perfect. It was an 8 out of 10. It was really good. A lot of nostalgia, a lot of good moments, but I don't know. It just felt like it wasn't enough. It felt like it wasn't like it didn't give me enough. Like I could have done another 30 minutes to 45 minutes of that movie. I just feel like they could have just stretched it because they had everybody in the theater engaged. So, but good movie. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. So that's good. All right. So, looks like we got some people in the chat, man. Let me say what's up to you guys. Oh my goodness. DJ Romeo, great. What is happening? Daniel Rodriguez, what's happening? DJ G Kenny, what's good? What's good? To soon be the moderator in this joint, what's good? I actually, G Kenny, if you look beside your name right here on the screen, I figured out how to make you a moderator. You are officially a moderator in the chat. You are. It got that little tool beside your name, so you the man now. DJ Matty Ice, what is happening? What's good? What's good? Mulk Tide, which is very interesting. What's good? What's happening? Benny Blanco, what's good? What's good? Kevin Sounds, what up? Wickman 2A, what's good? Let's get this knowledge going. I got some knowledge for you guys today. I got some stuff for you today. DJ James King, what is happening? What's happening? Kevin, now you're pretty boring, Jay, to be honest. Thanks, Kevin. DJ K, what's good? What's good? Back in the house. Wickman, damn, Madonna song been stuck in my head all week because of that movie. I can't get lifestyle out of my movie. You know, men a lot, left down to get left down alive. You know, nobody knows what he's actually saying, but you know, and for some reason that song has just been stuck in my head today. Never been able to catch Nick or Aaron live, but I'm catching you live today. What's up, Eric? Appreciate you. Oh snaps, man. Y'all behave or I'm banning you. Just kidding. Appreciate you, Jay. Rick Williams, what is happening? What's happening from Chicago? Okay, so mustering up some energy here. So let's talk about last week and let's talk about what has transpired and what is coming up, and then we'll get into some topics, and then we'll have a Q&A for the remainder of the time here. So this past week, I was able to do an event. It was another wedding, second wedding of the second half of the year. Went in with great energy. I could just feel great energy in the room, and I got a great response. So we kicked things off from this past Saturday. I went back to the smaller setup for this particular event only because Photo Booth was involved with this, and what I'm noticing is that first of all, it's time for me to get a new trailer. It just, bottom line is, carrying the T-shaped stand, the whole board stand, is in a big box, and when I have Photo Booth, I have to like separately put the photo booth pieces like either in the back of the truck or in the back seat, and it's just aggravating. When I bring a trailer, I like to bring everything in the trailer, and I can't do that when I bring the T-stand. It's already hard enough to do that when I'm bringing up lights. So I just flat out need a bigger trailer. No question about it. That trailer, I have outgrown my current one. I believe it is a, it's not 8 by, I don't think it's 8 by 10. I feel like because I can just barely stand up in it. So it's gotta be like a 6 by 8 or something like that, or 6, maybe 10, 6 by, no, probably ain't 10. I don't know. I don't know the exact measurements of it. But it just holds enough to do either 2 add-ons or the T-stand. So I had to bring out the Rev 7, put the facade up front. I used the shed lights on gravity stands and the Maui 44 G2s. And let me just tell you guys, it sounded awesome in there. It was fantastic. I mean, even I got so many compliments from not only the setup, but the just the speakers in general, because they look sleek. They sounded great. They did not fill the room, because if you saw my Instagram, those speakers just do not fill a room. I'm not going to say a room, this room. The venue is just a long hallway, just straight down. And it's like, a certain width. It doesn't have any turns or anything. It's just a straight, down with bricks as the walls and concrete as the floor. So sound does not travel well in this venue. I do have some clips for you guys on here so you can kind of see how it was going. They had the college mascot in attendance at this one, and so I had to play the college song for the Gamecocks, and you can see the bird right there in the middle. But they did a great job. I actually posted this one on my business page because I thought this was, a great add-on here. But you can just see the energy in the room was great. I mean, this was fantastic. People had phones out. People were swinging towels. It was really good. And then the second clip I have here is just people just kind of dancing, having a good time. And I was able to kind of play around with some of the music that I used. So it was actually pretty good. I think it's good enough for me to make another gig log out of here. So I will probably be making a gig log for it. Hopefully. But yeah, you can kind of see what I was dealing with, what the energy was. People were kind of in left and right. Everybody gave me my space, which is fantastic, and I cannot say how much I appreciate that. So kudos to them. I'm glad they had a good time. Bride and groom were awesome. They said that they kept getting compliments from everything I did, so I must have been doing something right. So thank you guys. If you guys are listening, even if you're not, thank you for having me. And now we're on to this week. Now, this week, I have another multicultural wedding to where it is, American, Mexican, and African American. So we are going to play a whole bunch of stuff. I sat down with this couple, and it's a lot of music. It's not as many guests. So this one probably won't have the size dance floor or the amount of people that one had. But when in doubt, we're gonna rock them out. So it is all good. I'm on the stage this coming up weekend, which is different. Usually I'm on the floor and I'm just center floor, but now I'm center stage this week. This venue has a kind of difficult roll in. So again, it will be the Rev 7 out again this weekend. And I think the Rev 7 is going to get a lot of use this month The T stand might not come back out until September, only because the Rev 7 is just easier to load in and out, and that T stand I have to make sure that the case fits in, and it's just a pain in the butt. But if you haven't seen any of my gig logs, I've got plenty of gig logs on the channel for you to take a look at if you want to see the T stand, or you can just go on my Instagram and see the whole board stereo T stand that I use, which is absolutely fantastic. So with that being said, let me get a drink of water here. Let's talk about some topics. I don't have like a whole lot to go over, but these are just some things that came up in conversations with me and DJ Mike, with me and the event, that I just felt like I wanted to share with you guys. So let's talk about it here. Let me go to it. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to talk to you guys about is the new Serato update. I wanted to make sure that everybody knew that there was a new one out. And basically this update updates a lot of the effects. So as you can see on here, it says explore the high quality effects that you know and love. If you don't already use onboard effects on some of your gear, or if your gear does not have onboard effects, Serato now offers them, and they are pretty clean. I've watched a few videos on them. I haven't been able to use it yet because I haven't DJ'd this week yet. So I've already downloaded it though, and it looks like it's giving support for the performer, rainforest stems level support, and I wish that it would give support for my S7, because it's, for some reason, the volume kind of jumps up whenever I use stems on that thing. So but it also gives support, Serato stem support for Tidal and DJ extensions as well. So if you haven't updated that, make sure you update that. That is available right now for download if you need to do so. All right. So first topic I want to talk about, and let me bring myself back on the screen here. Goodness gracious. There we go. All right. All right. First thing I want to talk about is bad requests. Now, we all get these. We all get what we think are bad requests in general. I recently had actually, you know what? The last two events, this has happened to me. And it's becoming an issue only because it's like these guys just, and again, this is usually with my older people. I don't get a lot of bad requests from the younger crowd. I get requests that, may not necessarily go with what I'm doing, but sometimes I can get it in. But this last 2 weeks, I've had older people ask me for older songs and slow songs in the middle of a big party. And if you saw my last gig log, you saw how many people were out there having a good time. I just showed you dancing and stuff from this past weekend, and everybody was having a good time. And it, to me, when you request something, I don't understand why people don't just request from what's already happening. If I'm playing something and you can think of something that would just flow with what I'm already doing, even if it's not necessarily the same genre, but like if I'm out there playing, Pitbull or something like that, don't request like some Led Zeppelin or something like that. Some of these requests are just outrageous. And one guy asked me for two honey or something like that, something honey. And, I took a second to try to figure out what he was talking about. And when I finally found the song, it was like a song from the 60s. And I'm like, and it was almost like big band type music. And I hadn't played big band all night. Brian Groom didn't request big band at all. And so when they make those requests and then they kind of stand right over to the side and then they stare at you. And every time you look at them, they're thinking, when are you going to play my request? And so it's like, how do you want to handle that? I'll give you another example. The Bride from this past week. You know how at like concerts and or clubs and people can't really yell up to the DJ, but they take their phones and put it on their foreheads and it's got what the request is. Well, I'm out there, playing. I play, all kind. I'm open format. Everybody knows that. And I'm playing all kind of music. And at that point, I think I was in a hip hop moment where I had played like maybe 2 or 3 hip hop songs in a row. And again, packed dance floor, people really, vibing with what I'm playing. And the Bride comes over and she has the phone on her head, and the song she wanted was Dixieland Delight. Now, I don't have a problem with Dixieland Delight, but for those who are not familiar with that is like just a country sing-along song. It's almost like a yeehaw type song. Like in the middle of the song, you probably would say like yeehaw. But it's Dixieland Delight, and it's a sing-along, and college students have added their school, like saying their school's name within the song, and they kind of say it a little bit different. But literally, it's like, swinging do-si-do type music. And it didn't fit right where I was at, but the Bride wanted it like right then and there. So, I mean, imagine me having this hip-hop set, and then all of a sudden you hear, it almost messes up the whole flow. It really almost does. But I was trying to cater to her because she's the boss. She's asking for it right then. And I hate to tell the Bride, in a little bit. But that's how I handle people with bad requests. I tell them, I'll take a look and see if I have time. I'll get it on. That's my favorite one to go to. If I have time, I'll get it on here for you. And then, of course, when they come to you at the end, you must not have had time to play. Oh, yeah, I had so much other stuff that I had to play. I just ran out of time. And we just move on with life. So I say all this because sometimes you don't have a choice. Sometimes a bad request is going to clear your dance floor. People don't understand how you're building a dance floor. Like I started the dance floor with older music. I started it with in and out of pop and older. And I had those people. I gave them 30 to 45 minutes of that. Then I moved over into early 2000s music, stuff that the majority of the people there would know, whether it be pop, hip hop, whatever. I played all of that. EDM, I played, just popular stuff. Then we got into a little bit more current, but not too current, like 2010. And then we dropped back down to 2000s, and we were just kind of around that range. And that just builds up a dance floor because that allows for people to be able to, everybody to get something out of the night, whether or not you got it on the early part or the back end part. Now, one thing that I hate to do that I may have to switch up because I'm getting so many requests from older people is saving some of the older music for the back end and bringing some of those Septembers and Boogie Shoes and all these other ones in towards the end and putting some newer stuff at the beginning. Also, I did try that at my first event back, and it kind of did okay. But just imagine a night where it's, you're into the last hour, it's majority young people, and you throw on Come On Eileen, or you throw on Dixieland Delight, or you throw on September, or you throw on I Want to Dance with Somebody in the last hour. It's like, unless you've had a rager the entire time, those songs, they don't hit as hard as when people first come out, when they're full of energy and they've been waiting to dance since dinner, to me at least. So let me know in the comments and everything down below what your thoughts are. How would you handle a request that comes in, you know, kind of crazy and stuff at the wrong time, or it's just a bad song that just has no place there? Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think about that. Let's see what we got in the chat here. I know you guys have been saying some crazy stuff. I'm pretty sure. Let's see here. Here we go. I'm moving to a question about your ceremony setups when you have a chance. Yeah, I'm going to get to Q&A towards the end there, Wickman. Promise. Let's see. Yeah, hold your questions to the end. You may have to ask them again. I'm looking at getting 7x12, 7x14. Yeah, I'll probably have to get a 7x14. Not gonna lie. Wickman, getting a cargo van. I thought about that. That's not in the cards. That's definitely not in the cards for me. Will you place your Mauis off the stage and use monitors and try the wedding was the word? Wait a minute. I tried that at a wedding. No, they will at this coming up event that I have, they will be on the ground, and I will have a monitor up by the table by me. Is the T stand up an upcharge? No, it's not an upcharge. Just a preference. Just a preference. It's more of like a wow factor in a way, a separator. I thought about only using it for certain ones, and then I was like, I'm gonna get this thing out as much as I can. So it just depends on the venue. DJ 360, play the Righteous Brothers during sexy. Whoa, my love. Right in the middle of Get It Sexy. Oh my gosh, y'all are crazy. Man, I say the same thing all the time. I'm telling you, man, it is nuts. I'm usually straight up and tell them that will not work, but try to fit it in later. Yeah, I know one thing that when requests come in, they go back to like their little group, and I just don't want anything to get over to the bride. Like, man, who's this DJ? He's an asshole. He won't take any requests from me. You know, I just don't want that to get back to us. So I always leave the door open. No pun intended. I always leave the door open for, I could play it. Like, maybe you should stick around long enough to see if I do play it. But I already know in my head I'm not playing it. Reminds me of the scene in High School High when the DJ took the requests for Rhinestone Cowboys. I remember that movie. I remember that. I usually play the old stuff first for the older crowd. Then when the older crowd go to bed, as I like to call it, then we get into the newer stuff. And that's normally how I do stuff. But these older folks are starting to stick around too. And that's becoming like a little bit of a thing now. Like the older folks are lasting. Like especially this last time, older folks like I'm DJing right here, and you know I can see out of my peripheral vision right over here that there is a group of old folks there and a sprinkle of old folks right over there, and some even on the dance floor. And I'm just like, what y'all doing? You know, we about to get into that next level. You know, we about to go up a level. Are you sure y'all want to hang on for that? And they hang on all the way. Let's see. Maybe a hip hop beat to the request could have made a difference and not clear the dance floor. Yeah, well, I'm trying a few things. If I hit something one time and I try it again another time, I'll definitely bring it on this show so that we can see. You know, I could spread that and see if that'll work. I've gotten a request for a song never heard before, and I was like, okay, sure, why not? And that was a mistake. This right here is always a mistake. It is always a mistake. If you do not know that song and you put it on, like, especially if you've already downloaded it and it's in your crates and you find it, go ahead and slide your headphone knob over or put on your headphones, and while whatever song you're playing is playing, go ahead and listen to it. Because I can tell you right now, one thing I'm not about to do is play a blind song in the middle of a set. I just won't do it. I have to know what that song sounds like. Just for that very reason. I can't do that. I can't do that. If older crowd is staying, then you must be doing something right. Well, I must be getting better at that. They're keeping the older crowd on the floor, but they're just trying to keep up with the kids, man. They're just trying to keep up with these younger kids, and people are. I know that the last two weddings, a lot of people were from out of town, and I noticed at those events that older people tend to last longer, only because they're like, I mean, we'll sleep tomorrow, so let's just stay up. So that may have been the case, that may not have been the case, but I know it was a lot of out of town people there from all over the country from this past Saturday. So. What definitely helps me is redrums, basically the older songs and redrum version of and right, and that's great. But what I'm saying is that some of the songs, you know, I don't have a redrum from some songs, or I don't have a different version of some songs. I just have the original. And when they request those, it's like at a bad point. Like it would be tough to do a redrum of Dixieland Delight. Like, I know there's probably one, but because of how that song flows, it would be tough to do a just a redrum or a rework of that one. But I'm sure somebody does. You have to understand that we are in charge of the room. Yeah, in a sense. Now, I don't let them know that, but I know mentally that I'm in charge of this whole thing. Right, I'm the captain of this ship. Okay, so good stuff, guys. Good stuff. I appreciate the engagement and everything you guys are here. Make sure you hit the thumbs up while you're in here. We got some great stuff coming up, great stuff to tell you. So let's get into the next topic, because this is something that me and DJ Mike talked about. And I'm going to put myself in the middle here, not because I'm self-centered or anything, just gonna put myself in the middle. All right, let's move this up a little bit. There we go. Okay, so let's talk about some tips to plan how to prep for your social media. Now, a lot of this stuff came out, you know, Mike was telling me that, you know, he's trying to revamp his social media, and I was just telling him that, you know, social media takes so much time there's actually a faster way to do this. So I know a lot of us just kind of take social media and just put whatever, whenever. But if you strategically plan some stuff out, you can actually get some really good engagement. Now, I know this because I took my business page and I did this. When I had that my wedding planner on a couple weeks ago, I took about 5 clips from that. And this is going to take some time, but it's worth it in the end. Trust me. I took like 5 clips from that show. I organized it in CapCut. You know, I made it, you know, all nice and whatever in CapCut. And if you're not really good at this, there are people on Fiverr that can do that, or there's probably people who are local to you that know how to do this. Some of the apps actually will do it for you, but I digress. You'll have to see. I haven't found one yet. But putting it together in CapCut didn't take too long, but it was tedious to edit out the clips from an 1.5-hour video. But once I did, I was able to have 3 different drafts ready to go in Instagram, 3 different drafts ready to go in TikTok. And all of those all I had to do was, you know, write out the description that I wanted, put my hashtags and everything on them, and then save them to draft. And then just pick what time. Like, here's the trick that nobody tells you. When you are posting, if you're trying to get good engagement, you have to find out when people are online. Now, there's no special little tool that you have to have, but if you post something to your stories and you get more than usual views on that, you should post a reel as well. So I'll give you an example. The Monday that I had the draft saved to be able to put out the reel, I just kind of posted. I had to learn this, so this is why I'm telling you guys this now. I just posted it 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Now, I didn't put a story up. I didn't put anything. I just basically posted the reel and reposted it up to stories, letting people know that I had a reel. The engagement was flat. It was flat. I think by the end of the day, I had like maybe 100 people take a look at it. Now, I got strategic with it the second time. I noticed that there was a little bit of a surge in a story that I posted, I think, about some power plugs. DJ Solstice had told me about some power plugs that go to my wash movers. And I posted it, and I put a link for you to be able to purchase it. And I noticed that as soon as I posted it, I got like 20 views on it. And then later on in the day, I noticed that it got 70 views on it. And then later by the evening, I saw that it got 125 views on it. So I was like, you know what? Drop this video. I don't remember exactly what time it was. I think it was like 7 or 8 o'clock at night. Maybe that's when people were watching, but I dropped another reel right at that time. The engagement was enough on that reel to surpass the first reel by the time I woke up the next day. I had like 500, almost 700 overnight. And that was like a Wednesday night. I want to say that was like a Wednesday. So it wasn't a special day. It was just a special time. It was the timing of when you post. But if you have it saved to draft, it's easier for you to drop it. And if you hop on what I like to call the analytics train and just happen to catch something, on fire, it literally takes you into a different atmosphere. I had one video on Instagram, and it just was a regular everyday video, something I've posted on YouTube, 20, 30 times. And I posted it as just another post, and it caught fire based on when I posted it. I must have posted it when the algorithm was just doing its thing. And it got a hold of that, and it just sent that video. It's now like the highest video I've ever put on any platform on both Instagram and TikTok. So definitely post on those two simultaneously. But there is definitely a method to the madness, and I am always trying to put these things together, but you have to get content ready, guys. If you didn't watch that video that I had with the planner that I had on here, content sells. I got 3 over the last 2 weeks. I got 3 people wanting to book me because of my Instagram. And it's not just the regular stuff that's on the news feed. People are going and watching your reels. They are watching your reels. The reels are catching certain people. They're catching the eyes of those who need to see it. I had 3 from Instagram, and then I had 2 inquiries from TikTok. So I say all of that because you definitely need to schedule time during the week to be able to post to your social media. One thing I do when people follow me, one thing that I like to do is I like to go to their page and just see if they have stuff that matches what they say their username is. So like if you're DJ Worldwide, okay, and then we get on your page and you've got a picture of your dog and your kids and the grocery store and an outfit you wore, and I'm like, what? Thanks for the follow, but how am I going to follow you back if your page doesn't look like a DJ page? I'm not following you because you have 20 subscribers. I'm following you because your page looks like a page that I would be interested in. And that's why I'm saying it's so important to have your social media together. Social media is free advertising. You don't have to pay $1 to create a reel. You do not have to pay $1. And if you get the basic version of CapCut, they have enough on the basic version of CapCut for you to create reels and TikToks. You don't have to pay anything. So when Mike comes out with me, when my son comes out with me to gigs, I want them to just capture content. I don't care what it is. I tell them what I want. And, you know, I'll try to get the best footage and everything from it. But I just want content because I want to be able to have stuff to throw out there that separates me from the next guy that they're looking at. Because one thing, when I'm trying to book Mike on gigs, one of the first questions that the bride asked me, because they've already looked at my Instagram, they've looked at my website, they've looked at everything. And I'm like, oh, I'm booked that day, but I do have a great co-DJ with me. The first thing that they ask me is, do you have his Instagram or do you have his social media so I could take a look at it? That is the first thing they ask me for. And I cannot tell you how important this is to have. You guys have really got to up your game on these. I'm not saying you have to do it and get 1 million views. You don't have to get 1 million views, but show you doing the thing that you love to do, especially if you're a DJ. Show your DJing. Show your DJing at an event. This is free advertisement. Show your setup. Show all of it. Put in the description for bookings. Click here. Put all of that. If you need a reference, you can copy what I have on my page. You can literally copy my description if you would like to, but please up the standard of your social media. It's not about the numbers. It's about the presentation. A bride's not going to book you because you have, a bride's not going to reject you because you only have 50 followers. She's going to reject you if your page looks like shit. Just flat out. If your page does not match your talent, what are you doing? And so one more avenue, and then I'm going to jump off this topic. One more avenue that I have been tapping into are mixes. Sometimes, and this is very rare, couples don't want to see me DJing at an event on YouTube. I don't know why. I've just run across this recently, but they want to just hear me mix. And I don't know if the guy is just very particular or if the girl is very particular on what she hears, but I have started putting more mixes on Mixcloud. That's not a live thing. That's just me, putting together songs and just playing them and playing them in a certain style. Now, I've learned to do that because I gotten on Twitch and recorded that and then taken that recording, put it on Mixcloud. Now I've got content for Twitch and Mixcloud. And if you want to take it a step further, if you can have somebody film you or you can set up a stand and film yourself, you can make a reel out of it. Now you've got a reel, a short, and a TikTok. That's 5 pieces of content just based on you DJing at one time. That's how important this is, and that's how easy this can be. So don't put too much strain and stuff on your mind on what to come up with. It's as simple for us as showing DJ related stuff. Show it. Show it, show it, show it. Let me know in the comments down below if that's just too much or if you guys don't care or you don't care about social media. Because if you don't, you're definitely not looking to get bookings. You cannot ask me how to get bookings if you don't care about social media. You just can't. You're talking to a guy who does not pay for advertising, and I still get close to 55 to 60 weddings a year. Now, if that's not enough for you as an individual, I understand. Pay for the advertising. But if that's like, holy crap, and you don't advertise, that's mainly because of the other avenues that have led me to do that. Word of mouth, social media, and YouTube. Can't get any better than that. All right. Woo. That was a lot. That was a lot. Let me make sure I didn't have anything else here. Hold on. Yeah, that was a lot. Okay. Now, let's shrink this down, shrink this down, shrink this down. Rotate this a little bit. Get some water. All right. So, for those who are still with me, make sure you put ask in the comments, and we will answer as much. I keep saying we. I'm so used to saying we because I email for my company. I will answer as many questions as I can possibly answer. If I can't answer them, then please, if you know the answer in the chat, go ahead and help out your fellow DJ on here. For those who don't care about the Q&A portion and dip out, before you do so, if you can just do me two favors. One, hit the like button. And two, next week is going to be our 100th episode. 100th episode. And I told you guys last week that for the 100th episode, I'm going to have you guys on here. So, if you want to be a part of that, make sure you see when I post the link on YouTube, and you're going to have to click the link, and I'm going to give you guys, no more than 5 minutes apiece to come on live with me during the show next week for our 100th show. That's just for a big thank you to you guys for watching me for 100 episodes. So we'll do that. So like I said, if you have to go, I understand. Just hit the like button before you leave. Thank you so much. For those who still in here, let's talk questions. Let's see what you got. Eric Washington, what's good? Also, just as a heads up, I was not able to finalize the things that I needed to finalize to make it to DJX this year. I did not get the numbers that I wanted, so I will not be at DJX this year. And it's funny, the moment I decided that, a booking called. So I will be working. I'll be working on the day that I was supposed to go to X. So no DJX for me this year. All right, let's see. Just let book cook. That's what I wish all of them would do. Just let book cook, man. I'm telling you. All right, let's see. Hold the crowd down. What definitely helps me is redrums, West Indian parties. The old people definitely keep up. Yeah, yes they do. Some guests like the bus balls and try to run the room. Okay, I was there. Some guests like the bus ball. Got you. Yes, I need this. All right. Here's Eric's DJ service. Do you think posting on YouTube is a thing of the past? Because I don't get a lot of viewership on YouTube as much as I do TikTok. Okay. So let me just say this. If you're not getting viewership on YouTube, I believe that is because our niche is starting to get oversaturated. I noticed that the last gig log that I posted, it doesn't do nearly the numbers that they used to. And I've looked at other guys post gig logs and they're not getting the same numbers. So here's what my advice would be. You could switch it up and do something different. Focus on shorts, more on YouTube to gain viewership if you would like. I mean, it's the same thing as Reels. Or you can still post your gig logs and use them for advertisement for couples that are reaching out to you that want to see, you DJ. You could do it for, not just the viewership, but do it more for having content available for couples to be able to select you. So there's still options with that. I mean, some people are starting to get views when they do like live mixing. Not really live mixing. They put up a mix on YouTube. I've seen people get more viewership there, but that's still hit or miss. And you're doing like a whole hour set. Same thing you would do on something like a Twitch. Speaking of which, I should be on Twitch tomorrow by 12 or 1. If you'd like to see me on there, we will probably be doing Twitch. It's DJ JayBook on Twitch. It allows you to be able to go check that out. So that's my answer for you, Eric. All right. I'm getting a lot of bookings through Instagram and TikTok. Those are what the majority of people are going to find you on. I can tell you that inquiries from Facebook usually fall flat. They're just looking for the cheapest person. But Instagram, TikTok, I have seen those. So I do believe you. YouTube is not going to, you're not going to get booked from YouTube. You're going to be able to advertise for yourself on YouTube. All right. I tried telling my wife to film content, man. Next thing you know, I look over and she's sitting down eating. Yeah. Here's one thing that I wanted to point out too. And I thought about making this a topic, but I think it's just a quick helpful hint. I talked to the coordinator from this past weekend because she had a whole team of just young girls with her. And I asked her, I said, how do you get the girls to intern for you? And she says she goes to a local college and speaks to, the interns who are interested in that field. And so they literally intern for her and she don't have to pay them nothing. So I thought about going to a local college and seeing somebody who wants to, focus their thing on content creation and things like that and giving them just a palette of just freedom to be able to do that. And I mean, if they intern for you, I mean, you could pay them something, but they're interning. So you technically don't have to. So yeah, it's tough getting people, friends and family to do it because they don't see your vision. And I know how that is. So that's why I'm able to say that wholeheartedly. Let's see. I use Filmmaker Pro. It is really good. Makes you look very professional. Lots of options. There you go, guys. Check this out. I'm sorry. I keep pulling it on and off. There's another option for you. If you would like to kind of take a look there, there's another option. You got Filmmaker Pro if you'd like to check that out. Kevin Sounds. Yep, I was taught a long time ago that reels are literally number one. Those have the most reach. And they're like adding blog posts to a blog. So yeah, real simple, easy and free. Don't we all love free? Don't we wish more things were free? All right. I have a love-hate relationship with mixes. They help, but at the same time, the client, I feel like just asking for another way to judge you. Well, then do it for yourself then. Do a mix for yourself. Figure out where you can get better at. That's another thing I've been listening. If you want to get better, just listen to one of your mixes, your own mixes. Just go back, because one thing that I can hear is when I'm doing my mixes, if I hear myself mess up, it's so apparent to me. And I'm just like, I need to tighten up here. And it actually makes me perform better at these gigs. I'm not gonna lie to you. Doing Twitch and working out, hand motion and different stuff and finding cues and stuff on there, it really helps me when I go and do my routines at weddings. I feel like they're crisper, they're tighter. It feels almost too easy. So I definitely want to keep, challenging myself. But listen to your own mix. It's something. I do social media for my weekly show and live stream on Mixcloud. That's what's up. Now I would definitely advertise in stories, and make sure you put a link to it, because you don't want to just send those. You want to definitely advertise and put something that would catch people. Like take a low picture of like your board and say, y'all come join me on the mix now. Cause that's what catches another DJ's eye to see what equipment you're using. And they're more than likely going to hit the button if you put a story out, or you can create yourself a reel and put that out on there and have a link to be able to go check out the Mixcloud show. But your advertisement has got to be something that is a visual advertisement when it comes to like a story, reel, post, whatever that may be. DJ Lord Geo, what's good, man? A school wants to book me for 8 events for the upcoming school year. Where can I get a contract from? I usually go through the PTO staff, but they're all moving up with their kids. Interesting. Have you not dealt with contracts in the past? The reason I ask is because you could use just an original contract. Contract doesn't really have to say much. But if it's for a school, you definitely want to have something on there. You could, what's that software that Eric uses? I can't remember the name of the software that Eric Massengale uses. If you are friends with, or if you want to look up Eric, ERIK Massengale, Massengale, and hit him up in his DMs or his messenger and ask him where he gets his contracts from, because he has an ISO that he uses for his company, and I believe he has like generic contracts, if I'm not mistaken. But that's the only place that I would know you would get one. I don't think Honeybook would show you unless you're a member, and my contract comes from Honeybook. Appreciate that, G Kenny. What's your current ceremony setup? I'm looking to start building my ceremony rig and could use some direction. Okay. So I use two Audio-Technica 3000s for my lapels. I use a StarTech plug power source in the middle, rack mounted, and then I have a drawer that has my Yamaha MX-06, I believe, MX-06, the small Yamaha mixer. And then eVerse 8 is the speaker, and you only have to run one wire from the setup box over to the speaker, and then I use a Jackery battery so that I can be portable everywhere. Again, if you'll follow me on Instagram, I usually put it up on my stories for weddings. I have to use it this weekend, so it'll be on my stories this weekend, so you can see that. But it's pretty much just, a case with two lapels, power strip, mixer with lapel packs, receivers in the box with it, and then eVerse 8 speaker on a stand. All right, Eric. Sometime I tell them that I don't have it in my collection, or see the person that hired me to do the event, especially songs with bad lyrics. Yeah, it's easy to get away from bad lyrics. That's easy. It's hard when the bride says something about, oh, you can start playing the ones with the curse words now. It's like, what? What are you talking about? I'm not doing that. We good. But yeah, it's becoming easy. I think there's just easier ways to get people to just kind of back off a little bit, or just give you some space, or maybe just stick around, or just forget about it altogether. A lot of guys that come up and request stuff that I don't have initially, they're like, "Don't worry about it. You're doing a great job." I'm like, "Oh, okay, good," because I wasn't gonna play that shit no way. Do you take requests outside of Serato, like on an iPad with Spotify? No. 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 I most certainly do not. Here's my thing, and this is probably just my thing. I think I have enough great music because I have like 10,000, 12,000 songs. Okay. I have enough music to accommodate your event. I'm downloading every week, and I'm not just downloading one genre of music. I have enough to accommodate that. If I don't have it, I just don't have it. If that makes me a bad DJ in your eyes, I'll take that on the chin. That's just how I feel. I do not play from outside devices. But I do take requests. Because sometimes people have good requests. Sometimes people remind me of songs that I forgot about. And sometimes I'm just like that famous picture with a DJ stiff arms the girl. I'm like that too. Kevin Sounds, no. Well, for what? All right, Romeo Gray asks, if the G42s came in white, would you get that? Well, they do. 44 G2s do come in white. And here's why I would not get them. Because the transportation of those things, even if they're in cases, even when they're sitting there, when beer pours on the ground, when it's on concrete and it's moving because the sub is hitting hard, when you nick it up against something, trying to maneuver it or anything, all of that shows up on that speaker. It's harder to see it on black, or you can just take a Sharpie and color in, where the wood is showing on the sub. Now the grill, guys, let me just tell you, the grill on those speakers gets dented like none other. It is the craziest thing. The grill just, I don't even know how, there's not even anything close to it. I don't even know how stuff is hitting it, but it's like I see a new dent in my grill of the long speaker neck. And I'm just like, how in the hell did that happen? And I saw one guy take the whole grill off, and he took a hammer and banged it back out, but he had such a time putting it back on. I'm like, nah, because I can't go to an event and then not have the grill on the front. So we just going to keep it like it is for now until I'm forced to do it. Daniel Rodriguez, what was the process like making gig logs, like editing? I want to, but I'm super nervous, but I do like the benefits of it. Okay. When I first started out, you have to remember, I come from a background of not knowing how to do any of this stuff. I don't know how to do it, and I still have to learn. I used YouTube to learn how to edit. When I see something that somebody does, I don't get obsessive, but I always look for how they did it. And I'm trying to get something, close to that. So like if somebody disappears on the screen and then reappears someplace else, I always thought something like that was cool. So I've tried it in some of my videos before. Editing is just a time consuming process until you get a pattern down. It is very time consuming. I have to go through like 3 hours, sometimes, most of the time 2 hours, but sometimes 3 hours of footage to just give you 20 minutes of a video. And it's so crazy because I get these guys who come on there and they give me flack for like what they're like, well, what are you showing here? And I'm like, Transitions. Well, we don't want to see transitions. We want to see you play. What are you talking about? YouTube's not going to let me put a video up while I'm playing the whole song. It's so weird. Like, there's a lot of weird people out there. You have got to just have thick skin. I can't say that enough. You have got to have thick skin when you are doing this YouTube thing, because there are a lot of haters. There are a lot. But if you just look past them and look at all the people who are supporting you, that's the people that you're putting the video up for. So to answer your first question, you have to get into a rhythm. It is time consuming. It could take hours, sometimes days, depending on how much footage you got. Once you get a rhythm and stuff down, you could probably chop that time down tremendously, but you have to get a rhythm. You have to use some of the same stuff over and over in each video to get a rhythm. As far as people on YouTube, you're going to just have to have thick skin. You're going to have to lean on the people who are supporting you and just close your ears and your eyes on the haters, because they out there. And they're going to give you hell. They're going to make you question what you're doing, but that's what they're supposed to do. Here's one little tidbit I can tell you. If a hater talks to you and says something to you about, oh man, this is whack, blah, 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 you thank them first for watching the video. And the second thing is, why don't you send me over your content? Let me just take a look at it. Everything just shuts down after that. Everything usually shuts down. Happens almost every time. Works almost every time. All right. So many DJs on TikTok. Definitely crazy competition. You got DJs, not DJs on TikTok. You have Pet playing songs from the computer and not a controller, and just run one song into the next song. Right. And they're just trying to be unique. But let me just tell you, where there are a bunch of DJs, there's always room for people to view you too. It's actually a good thing, because if there was just one DJ DJing, it would be hard to find that person. It would be, because you can't. It's harder to find one guy in a big pool, but it's easier to find a whole bunch of guys that will probably lead to you anyway. Because I mean, when you put up a video or when you're on TikTok, the algorithm just tells the person, hey, such and such is on. It just tells them that. I mean, you have no idea that it's telling them that, but it tells them that. Same thing with a reel on Instagram. It just, when you put those hashtags and when you put, it finds whatever the video is about, the closest about, and it sends it to the most people who like that stuff. And then it's just a matter of you hooking them in based on what you do. So, I mean, same thing with YouTube. YouTube just finds all the people who like the stuff that you're putting out, and your thumbnail then has to sell them. But YouTube does its job by putting that thumbnail in front of you. So that's how you get it. All right. Kevin Sounds ask, let's see. Bro, would you say doing reels instead of gig logs? So basically a gig log shortened down to like 60-second reel to IG and YouTube would work best. All right, here's what I'm saying. Short form content is an easier watch than a 20-minute video. When people say long form content is coming back, they mean more like the podcast stuff, like this stuff. But short form content, I mean, my lady sits there every night before she goes to bed and just on reels. So here's what I'm saying to you. You don't even have to make a gig log. If you can just find a great transition that you did, or I mean, hell, even the one that took off for me, it wasn't even a transition. It was just me bringing in a song in a unique way, and it just took off. You have just got to show you doing something. Just doing something. And just don't make it overly long. For DJs, if you're playing music, 45 seconds will probably be enough. Especially if you've got to get you doing it and crowd's reaction. But it just needs to be something simple. Just something really simple. If here's an idea, if you want to, I saw Justin the DJ do this. He does it on his gig logs. He makes like he's grabbing all of his equipment, and then he speeds up the video all the way until he gets into the room, and then he opens his hand and looks like he drops it off there. That can be a reel. That literally can be a reel. Your setup, when you put the camera behind you or put your phone behind you on a stand and record you and put it in time lapse, that whole you putting it together, that's a reel. When you show your equipment and it's not put together, and then you snap your fingers and all of it's put together, and then you show a great crowd, that's a reel. That's content that people will watch and probably give you a thumbs up on. And if that just so happens to catch fire, it'll take you into a whole different level. So yes, you can make short form content. You don't have to put a whole gig log on your reel, but you definitely use short form content as much as possible. Let's see. How do you feel about people jumping all over posts from people who are looking for a DJ, but don't give out much information like location and date? It frustrates me. Desperate DJ. Wait a minute. How do you feel about people jumping all over posts from people who are looking for? You mean like on Facebook? I feel like that's where that's coming from. Like from Facebook, all over posts looking for a DJ, but don't give out much information like location. That's just price shopping. It sounds like that's just a price shop. When people do that on Facebook, they're like in search of a DJ. It doesn't say where you're from, where you need the DJ at, how long, how much stuff you need. It never says any. That's why I don't really like those. But I get pulled into those because a former bride thinks that, oh, that gives my DJ who was at my wedding an opportunity to be in that group. And I hate those. I hate those. I don't follow those leads. I follow the people who will actually reach out, DM you and say, hey, I saw your page and you come recommend it. Can I get some information about pricing? Those are your real leads. Real leads. Eric, those are always a race to the bottom. They're looking for the cheapest person regardless. There you go. How do you feel about DJs jumping all over the place? That's the same thing. Okay. Now, usually they call me a month before saying they want me for an event. Yeah, if you need that contract still, Lord Geo, then yeah, definitely hit up Eric Massengale. He knows what the thing is to get a contract. I mean, I'm sure there's information through Google, but I mean, I only use Honeybook. And there was a contract already within there. I just had to tweak it to reference DJ instead of photographer, and it was all good. So definitely check out Eric Massengale and see if he can help you out with that contract. But if they're booking you a month before saying they want you for the event, just put it all on one contract. You can put all the dates on there. Appreciate you, Eric. Let's see. All right, Kevin. I was saying no because you're going to miss Expo. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Just wasn't in the cards this year, guys. Wasn't in the cards. Maybe next year. Yeah, hopefully next year. We'll see. There are a lot of people, both DJs and non-DJs, that edit from free video editing apps on their phone. May not be long-term solution, but will help you get started. Yeah, I agree. Good advice, Kevin. DJ Romeo, great. Including YouTube can be counted. Wait a minute. Including YouTube can be counted as haters. I'm not sure where you get going there, Romeo. Wheel boards are really dangerous on the 44 G2s. I've pinched my fingers several times with those things. You have to be careful with the brake. Wow, I haven't yet. I haven't pinched my fingers yet. You know what's really aggravating though about the 44 G2s? It's the most aggravating part to me is putting back on the the wheels on the cart, the piece on the back that's got the wheels on it so you can turn it on its bottom. Putting that on when you are exhausted and tired from your event is so aggravating, because sometimes you don't put it exactly on how it wants to, and then when you flip it, the whole thing just falls off, the little cart falls off. I hate that. I absolutely hate that. I almost want to kick the damn speaker when that happens. LD the DJ, yeah, you're pretty late, but better late than never. I mean, you can always go back and rewatch it. We had some nuggets earlier, and we just QA'd right here before we hop off. LD the DJ, how quick do you follow up with the people that have showed interest in hiring you for an event? You ready for this? Immediately. I do not let it get past, I try not to let it get past 30 minutes, but if I'm in the middle of doing something, I try to respond within an hour on every email or thing that comes through, inquiry that comes through. This past Saturday, I was at my event and an inquiry came through, and we had to do first dances and formal dances. As soon as we got finished and I sent everybody to dinner, I immediately pull out my phone and answer that inquiry. I don't play. I don't play, because your response time can sometimes make or break the event. Sometimes, they don't hear from these other DJ guys for like weeks or a week. And by that time, you could be booked. Just me. Appreciate that, G Kitty. Oh, wow. There's a Hall of Fame game tonight? Nobody said anything? Titans and the Bears? Hall of Fame, man, football is back. I am so excited. All right, guys. Well, let's see. Hold on. LD DJ had one more. I mean, if they say I will get back to you after I check with other DJs, oh, then you already know that's probably not going to be your best lead. I check with people like that. I'll give them another week, because look, here's my philosophy. If you're trying to book these people and get these people narrowed down, it doesn't take you longer than a week. If you hit me up, let's say somebody hit me up today and I send them out information, and then tomorrow they come back and say, I'm going to check out some other DJs. I'll let you know. I will put one follow-up with you 1 week later and just say, hey, how's that DJ search going? Were you able to find anybody? And I'm telling you what, they have that day and that day only, especially after they told me they're looking for other DJs. They have that day and that day only to respond back to me. If they do not respond, I do not care what you have going on. You reached out to me. I'm not going to hold a date or a possibility for you, and you can't take 2 seconds to email me. Now, I know some people have death in the family and all this other stuff, but again, you reached out to me. I didn't reach out to you. So they have that day, and they've had a whole week. Let them go. If they don't respond to you after that day, don't say nothing. Let it go. Move on to the next. Jay, you answered an inquiry at another game. Yes, I sure as hell did. I don't have no shame in my game. And I got inquiries from that event. Bro, I'll be on it. I don't be playing. We be moving. I've actually booked future gigs at a current gig that I was at that I was doing. If that's unprofessional, I'm sorry, but business is business. They don't know. All right, let's make sure I'm clear on that. I don't want y'all to think that I'm like trying to send out, contracts, and I'm like, oh, hold on, I got to send out this contract before we start. No, I'm not doing that. But if they're doing dinner and I'm just playing dinner music, then, I may put it on autoplay for a second. Let me go ahead and, do what I got to do. Send stuff off. If they respond within that dinner time frame, I'm good. But if I'm DJing and we're in the middle of the party, I don't usually respond to those because I need my hands. I need my hands. So they'll get something that evening after I'm done, maybe right before I leave to go home, or the next morning. But yeah, if they hit me up before we get started with music, yeah, I'll respond. Okay, well, guys, it has been another great evening. You guys have been spectacular. Thank you so much for coming out and hanging with me. We got, looks like 13 likes. If you could do me a favor, just hit your like before the video ends, and I will have content coming out next week for you guys. I'm going to start back trying to do that. I think I have a gig log, last week's gig log, added into that mix, but we'll have content next week for you, and we will be back for our 100th episode, and that is going to be next Thursday. So make sure you attend that. I am going to have you guys on. If you're at DJX, that would actually be pretty cool to want to come on while you're at DJX, because I think that's the last day. But I am going to be on 7 p.m. EST next Thursday, 100th episode. I'm not going to have anything planned for it. I'm just going to put the link in the description, and you guys can come on and talk, giving you probably about 5 minutes max a piece, just so we can get more people on. And just thanking you guys for 100 episodes, because when I started this thing, I had no idea if I would keep doing it, especially if nobody watched it. But I've since grown since then, so that is always good. So thank you guys so much for checking me out, and thank you so much for always supporting. Be on the lookout for all things DJ related. Let me just say again, tomorrow, Twitch, between 12 and 1, we'll be on live on Twitch. If you have not followed me on Instagram and want to see some behind the scenes, that's where I do the most posting to, is on Instagram. And for all of my mixes, definitely check me out on Mixcloud. Everything is under DJ JayBook. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you again next week for show 100. Enjoy your weekend and enjoy some football tonight. If you're a football fan, make sure you live in to strive, not to survive. We will see you again. Peace, people.